We're out on Oahu's North Shore. A beautiful day at a spot they call Haleʻiwa. The surf is good, the sight's even better. It's 73 degrees. There's a gentle offshore breeze holding up these challenging waves. And all the ingredients are present for a spectacular day of surfing. And today you'll see some of the greatest women surfers in the world competing for more money than women surfers have ever competed for in the first Lancers World Cup. Working with me at Haleʻiwa today, the former world surfing champion, Fred Hemmings. What's it like out there?
Well, Al, what you'd call a classic day. The waves are coming out of the northwest into the bay here, and they're clean, hard-breaking right slide waves, and I think it's what you'd call a performance type of day.
Well, Fred, the preliminary heats are over. We started out with a dozen select surfers. Now we're down to the 6 finalists, and we're going to look at some of the action from the elimination heats.
In the preliminaries, Al, the waves were fast, crisp, hard-breaking, and many of the women actually had a difficult time maneuvering on these waves. They're quite a challenge for them. The winner of the first heat, Margo Oberg, was able to demonstrate a tremendous amount of judgment and skill.
Margo, on a day like today, what's the most important thing to remember out there?
Well, I think the most important thing is that you want to make the entire wave, and that's what I tried to do in my first heat. From the takeoff point to the end, ride all the way the fastest I could, and try to turn from one rail of my surfboard to the other, and accelerate. Speed off the bottom, and then when I come off the top, hit the other rail and accelerate. And that's what I've been trying to do today, is get a lot of speed and stay real close to the curl, and try to get inside the circle of the wave. That's kind of my philosophy today.
Well, I noticed on some of the bigger sets, some of the women competitors are hesitating to take off. Are you kind of on the edge out there? Is it getting a little too big, or are you all able to handle it?
Well, I think most people are able to handle it. I know a lot of it has to do with positioning and wave judgment. There's a lot of girl surfers that surf smaller waves, you know, like 4-foot waves all the time. So when a wave gets critical and it starts to pitch out, they just, you know, need that extra give 'em to push themselves down the wave and make it through. So I think a little bit of the problem with some girls is experience. They haven't been in that big a surf. But I think all the girls do have enough ability as far as just riding the waves. So I think within the finals it's going to be really tough. Everybody's going to be trying really hard, and I don't think anybody will hair out this time.
Incidentally, Alan, hair out means in surf jargon just to simply chick it out, and she mentioned give 'em, and that means going for it, like this young lady.
Laura Ching, she had trouble in the preliminary, so did Patty Penincia. So a couple of big names did not make it. But one who did was Lynne Boyer.
Lynne has got a very aggressive style. Notice how she really attacks the wave. She's going for it all the time. Then you did a fantastic job, and I noticed you really surfed aggressively. Did you have any basic strategy in mind when you were out there?
Yeah, just to catch as many open waves as I could, because a lot of them are closing out. You have to pick which wave you catch. Like,
when you came in, did you think you had it won?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I was catching pretty many waves compared to the other people.
No surprise.
No, not really. A little. I was stoked.
Women's sports. And I guess, as they say, they've come a long way. I guess Billie Jean King started it in tennis, and there's been Laura Baugh in golf, Paula Sperber and Judy Sutar in bowling. Well, surfing now, also. It's come a long way, and right now the women competing for as much prize money as the men will compete for in World Cup competition.
I'm sitting just outside what the surfers call the lineup, and that's where they position themselves before they take off on a wave. The waves are coming out of the northwest, and as they march into the bay, they hit this reef inside here, and every wave breaks in a little different location. Consequently, the surfers have to paddle around. Sometimes they'll have to paddle 60 yards down the lineup, 60 yards up to the west direction. They're constantly maneuvering in what they call the lineup to be in the best position to catch the wave.
And a big set rolling in as we're ready for the competition to commence. The judges, they're at the ready, each able to fully concentrate on the action. The recorders are set. And so is Rabbit Kakai, the competition director. Everything's set now for the finals of the World Cup, and here they are. Margo Oberg of Kauai. A lot of people think she should be regarded as the favorite. Becky Benson of Hawaii in green, and Lynne Boyer of Hawaii, whose great ride in the preliminaries we just watched. Sally Prank, she's confident, a transplanted Californian now living in Hawaii. From the East Coast in green, Linda DeVoli makes her home in New Jersey. And from the other side of the island of Oahu, Rell Sunn. The sound of the horn indicating we're ready. The flag drops down, and the competition underway. And the first surfer is Linda DeVoli from New Jersey.
It's amazing that Linda caught this first wave here. She has come a long way from New Jersey, and she's showing a lot of poise and confidence in riding here today at Haleʻiwa. Nice ride for Linda.
Let's take a look at that again. She's got a style. She stands almost straight up.
She really does have a very distinct style. She doesn't drop her body at all on her turn. She's got a very fluid, flowing style. Linda DeVoli.
Margo Oberg. She's been around, won the World Championship same year you did, 1968.
She sure has been around, and you can see it in her judgment. Here she's got a good-sized wave, and she's working it. And that is, she's staying close to that critical section. And we'll be mentioning that a lot today, Al.
And we'll take a look at her style again, quite in contrast to the style of DeVoli.
Right, and what we mean by that critical section, you watch, Margo. She's always staying near the breaking section of the wave. She's working that hard section of the wave. Here she kicks out.
And Lynne Boyer in action. She's young. A lot of people think she is the coming woman surfer of the future, Fred.
Well, I definitely have to agree. If you watch Lynne, she's all over the place. She drops her center of gravity. She does a lot of maneuvering, a lot of turning. She's a very, very aggressive surfer, and of course, that's what the judges are looking for also. The people who can handle those waves the best are going to score the most points. Lynne Boyer.
We're in the finals of the World Cup. Becky Benson.
Becky's got a good-sized wave here. She spends a lot of time on the North Shore. In fact, she goes to school at Brigham Young University here in Hawaii, and she spends all her free time surfing. Excellent judgment. Good-sized wave, nice ride.
And how many points do you think something like a ride like this would be worth?
Well, on a 20-point scale, the judges are going to give her a good 12 to 13 points on this particular ride because she showed good judgment, she picked a good wave, and she's working it. She throws out the whitewater here. Good, solid 12, 13-point ride.
And Rell Sunn. Our first look at Rell Sunn, who lives in Makaha on the other side of the island.
Rella picked a good-sized wave there, but it closed out on her, and she got out of it real quickly.
Here comes Margo Oberg.
Another great wave from Margo. Look at, Al, I think experience is really the word, because she is picking these waves that she can get the most out of. Look at her right through that little hot section. Notice how she pulled up through the wave and tucked through that hot section of the wave. Excellent judgment on her part. Here it is again. Now watch her. She knows she's going into that hot section of the wave. She pulls herself up into the wave, tucks in. Notice how she sticks her hand in the wave. That's like the cat's whiskers. She's kind of sensing her way through the wave.
Rell Sunn goes paddling by, and we'll be right back at Haleʻiwa. The finals of the World Cup at Haleʻiwa on Oahu's North Shore. Great performance surf today. Linda DeVoli of New Jersey.
Hot wave for Linda. Look at her go. A lot of speed off that wave. Look at how she banks off the top of that swell. Driving back down to the bottom. Up to the top again. Oops. She went up to the top to come back down in a series of climbing and dropping maneuvers and got caught up to the top. Here it is again. Now let's watch it closely. She's climbing and dropping, working the face of the wave. She goes up to the top again, and she loses it up there.
The contrast in style is so interesting. And let's watch DeVoli now in slow motion.
She has what I'd like to call a real regal style. She stands up straight, and she kind of just challenges the wave. She doesn't crouch or anything, as opposed to Lynne Boyer here. Lynne drops her center of gravity, really kind of gets into it. And here's a real power style. This is Sally Prank. Nothing's going to stop her. And watching her ride this wave, Al, you notice how solid she is. She's just locked into that wave. She's got a nice stance, and boy, she really goes for it.
And the competition continues. The surf at the moment a bit erratic, so the girls in the lineup waiting for a good one. And Lynne Boyer.
Lynne seems to be all over the place right now. Another great wave for her. Oops! Right through that hot section of whitewater. Wow! That wave came right over her and she got out the back door, as they say.
Becky Benson.
Another great wave for Becky. Notice that the judges are looking for the bigger waves, and Becky's playing that game. She's waiting for those big waves. She's waiting on the outside, choosing the waves that are going to get her maximum amount of points. And here she phones it out.
And the waves come pounding down at Haleʻiwa. Great day for surfing. And up is Margo Oberg.
Another good choice by Margo. She's always, her head is like a gyro. You watch her head, she's looking ahead, seeing where she's going, and having her body and board react to the wave as it happens. And behind her, Lynne Boyer, she's all over the place today, surfing very aggressively. Always maneuvering.
Both Oberg and Boyer have had some great rides already.
I'd say they're off to a fast start, there's no doubt about it.
Rell Sunn.
Rella's from Macau and has a very fluid style. Watch how smooth she is. Whoops! She saw she wasn't going to make that wave. Let's look at it again, Al. She drops down on the face of this wave. She's moving very fast. She sees a section coming over in front of her, and she simply goes up the face of the wave and gets out the back. Wise decision.
And Margo Oberg, who seems to pick the right wave every time.
Another solid wave for Margo. Experience, judgment. The critical section, I can't emphasize that enough. She's always right in there.
Margo Oberg perhaps building up a pretty good-sized lead. Sally Prang.
Sally Prang on a very big wave on the outside. This looks like the biggest wave of the heat so far. If she gets caught by it, it's going to be forced to prone it out. And that proning out maneuver is simply to save the board from getting washed away.
Lynne Boyer.
Lynne Boyer again. Right in there, tight. Working, blasted right off her board. That's a wipeout. That's going to hurt.
Margo Oberg back in the lineup. Here she comes again. Great ride.
Very smooth, very smooth. What can you say? She's right in there. Beautiful cutback. And a kick out.
And worth another look. Margo Oberg.
Watch this, Al. She's really on top of it today. She's not making any mistakes. She's picking the right ways, and she's working. Always maneuvering. Look at that. Little turn, cut back, working the face of the wave, getting the mileage out of it. She kicks out.
Picking up a lot of points.
I'd say that's 16 or 17 points easily. I'd say one of the higher scoring rides so far.
And here's Becky Benson.
Becky Benson's playing the waiting game. She's waiting for the bigger waves on the outside, knowing the judges judge every wave ridden, but they're only counting the top 5 waves, and so I guess she's going for a solid 5 waves.
We're getting down toward the end of the competition right now as we watch again another look at the wave ridden by Becky Benson.
Becky Benson knows she has a solid wave here. It's a good-sized wave, and she's going to work it. Remember, distance is one of the factors that judges are looking for.
And the horn. Rabbit Kakai back on the shore, signaling the end of competition. The flag goes up, and the surfers are on their way in. At stake, $4,000, first prize money. So the competition is over. Lynne Boyer catching a wave. This one won't count, but I guess it's the easiest way back in.
That's a nice way for Lynne, and not only is it the easiest way in, it's certainly the fastest way in. It sure beats paddling in. While the ladies are heading in now, the judges are computing the scores. Now, every wave that was ridden was judged. Judges were looking for the largest wave, the surfers covering the greatest distance, and of course that brings in all the maneuvering at the greatest speed in the most critical section of the wave. So that was the criteria of judgment. The judges put a score value on each ride on a 1 to 20 point basis, and now they just have a simple mathematical process where they add up the top 5 waves, throw the high out, throw the low score out, and they come out with a good average to determine a winner here in the event.
Congratulations. How does it feel to win the richest women's surfing event ever?
I feel fantastic. I really had a fun time out in the water, and I'm just very happy to see the sport of women's surfing progressing to a good professional caliber.
Margo, on behalf of the Lancers line, I'd like to present you with a check for $4,000 and the Lancers World Cup. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And another look at the best ride of the day by Margo Oberg. Becky Benson finished second. Rell Sunn was third. Lynne Boyer fourth. Margo Oberg, the 1976 World Cup champion. This is Al Michaels for Fred Hemmings saying so long from the North Shore of Oahu in Haleʻiwa, Hawaii.